Hello, I'm DelusionDispeller. I was thinking about the three things I told you I was going to make videos about: fear, guilt, and obligation. And I didn't really do any specific research on guilt, but I think this might help you to have this information. A lot of times I talk to people who were abused children, and then as adults, they tend to feel obligated or guilted into taking care of or honoring their parents. A lot of Bible following people have a lot of this guilt that I'm talking about. So I wanted to discuss that a little bit. There's some scriptures that those of us that were brought up with the Bible, and even people that were abused by people that used the Bible, had thrown at them. One of them is, honor thy father and mother, that it may go well with you and that you live long and prosper on the earth, or live long in the earth that God gave you, or something like that. Now, I thought about that. That's something that a lot of people have come back to me and said, yeah, but don't I have to honor my parents? Isn't that what the Bible says? Well, we have to decide what honor actually means, and we have to decide what a parent actually is. And I've kind of gone into that in other videos, the difference between a father, a mother, and an egg donor and a sperm donor. Spawning children, being the vehicle to bringing a child or baby into this world, does not make you a parent. A parent is a title given to people that exhibit certain traits, such as nurturing and compassion and direction and guidance and discipline and things like that. A parent is not someone that tortures and abuses a child or neglects a child or plays one child against the other. That's not a parent. That's a toxic abuser. So, would you have to honor that person? I don't believe so. At least not in the sense of honoring, like giving them gifts on their special days and telling them all the time that you love them and that you're there to take care of them and do things for them, etc. When they're throwing things across the room at you, or they're putting you down and saying you'll never amount to anything, or you're just like your father, good for nothing, blah, 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 or just like your mother. You don't have to honor somebody like that in the sense of always being there, always running to their aid, always taking their phone calls, their letters, and feeling guilty if you don't sit at their beck and call. One way you can honor somebody is by listening without fighting back. Now, I'm not talking about extreme toxic abuse, because in certain situations, like narcissists, for instance, they know exactly what to say to really irritate you and get you fighting back. I'm talking about somebody that was just simply abusive and possibly just verbally abusive. You can build yourself up, or you can go and get help for yourself to help you be strong enough that when they start launching their attacks, you're able to tell yourself that's about them and not me. I'm not taking that guilt and that blame on myself. I'm a good person. I'm not all those nasty negative things that he or she is saying about me. That's a way of honoring, by not getting into verbal and physical fighting matches with somebody that's abusive. Also, another way of honoring is through deciding to stop forcing that person to be what they cannot be. We're all trained, I guess, by the media and just by people around us to think that, oh, well, you were a child once, you must have had a mother and a father. And as an adult, you have to have a family. You have to have parents. Yes, it's important to have support. It is not necessary to have somebody that you had as a mother or a father that was the flesh person that brought you into this planet. You can have spiritual mothers and fathers. You can have foster mothers and fathers. You can have people that act in the place of a mother and a father that could be more of a parent to you than the person that was supposed to be. And there's nothing wrong with that. The point is, everybody needs support and everybody needs somebody in some way. So, you may need to find ways to meet your needs through other people and other situations. So, you can decide to stop wanting this person to meet your needs for assurance, love, empathy, compassion, understanding, and other things that you needed as a child, and maybe even as an adult child, and find other ways to meet these needs. That's another way to honor that person, by not demanding something they cannot give. You can also Choose to take any positive things that you might have learned in the toxic situation you were brought up in and use those things to live through the positive parts, but not to the extent that you ever open yourself up for more abuse and more pain from the toxic person. This requires boundaries, setting them, keeping them, informing the other person that you have them, and not allowing the other person to violate them. And if they do, taking action with consequences. That means if you tell the toxic female person, the egg donor as I call them, you're not going to call me up and start harassing me over the phone, or I will hang up and I will not talk to you for a few days. That's a boundary. It's important that you follow through on that. Don't make boundaries you don't intend on acting on. Because one thing about toxic people and narcissists, they know what card to play, so to speak. They got your number. They know if you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, that's a button they can push later on. And they wait for those moments. And they mock you when they see you do that kind of stuff. Always remember, when it comes to love and relationships, forced love is never true love. If you have to force somebody to love you and respect you and honor you and value you, it's not truly love. It's coercion. And you don't want that in your life. You want true love. And you may not get that from the person that brought you into the world, but there are other people that will give that to you. So stay tuned for part 2. Thanks.